Mr. House of Fallout New Vegas is basically just Elon Musk. Okay, that is a bit of an oversimplification, but they do share the same goal of helping humanity escape Earth to colonize the stars. And he had a rather ingenious way of going about achieving this goal, so stick around to the end of this video to find out what this plan was, and why I think supporting Mr. House is the right choice in Fallout New Vegas. You see, Robert House was a genius, a slightly vain and dictatorial genius, sure, but still a genius, having graduated from the Commonwealth Institute of Technology and set up the multi-billion-dollar Robco Industries Corporation, all by his 22nd birthday. He then slowly began accumulating new businesses across many different industries, including the Lucky 38 Casino, his family's tool company, and Repcon Aerospace, until eventually House became one of the richest and most powerful men on the planet. Despite his power and wealth, even House wasn't capable of preventing humanity's never-ending quest for self-destruction. But he did predict it, thanks to his habit of running advanced mathematical paradigms that aimed to predict future political and socio-economic events. And by the year 2065, he predicted that the world would be consumed by nuclear war within the next 15 years. So, now armed with his predictions, House set about ensuring that both he and his beloved hometown of Las Vegas would survive destruction at the hands of atomic fire, creating sophisticated networked mainframes that would force transmit disarm codes to any nuclear missiles fired towards Vegas, whilst an array of laser turrets would shoot down any that got past the first line of defense. Crucial to this plan was the Platinum chip, the most advanced pre-war computer chip ever to exist. Amongst the various things contained on the Platinum chip was an operating system upgrade that would unlock the full potential of House's missile defense grid. Unfortunately, the same day the chip was due to be delivered, the Great War began, and the missiles started flying, leaving House to attempt to defend Vegas from destruction with buggy and faulty software. And while he was successful in destroying 68 of the missiles, 7 did get through and hit Vegas and the surrounding Mojave, which led to House contained in his creepy hibernation chamber and plugged into the Lucky 38 computer systems to shut down the building's main reactor and battle power outages and system crashes for the next 5 years. After which, once he had rebooted his systems to a workable state, House entered a coma for several decades, and when he awoke from his slumber, House was greeted by a pitiful sight. His once beautiful home torn apart and pieced back together as a fierce, brutal wasteland, filled with savage tribes and the power-hungry New Californian Republic, eager to annex House's territory. Dismayed at the state of New Vegas and the warring factions that were so eager to forget the lessons learned from the mistakes of the Great War, House set about enacting a new grand plan that would use New Vegas as a remedy for all of the issues humanity faced as a result of the Great War. And this grand plan was one which starts with you, the courier, and your retrieval of the Platinum chip. With the chip in his possession, House would be capable of upgrading his Securitron army, which would allow him to drive both the forces of Kaiser's Legion and the NCR out of New Vegas, securing its independence. With New Vegas's independence secured, House would then initiate the next phase of his plan by building a rail line directly into NCR territory, offering the citizens of the Republic a gleaming jewel of decadence and pleasure to sate their desire for the more luxurious side of life. With money flowing into the Strip's casinos courtesy of the NCR citizens, House would then, over the next 20 years, reignite the tech industries around New Vegas, particularly in his pre-war business facilities of Robco and Repcon Aerospace, advancing the technology of New Vegas far beyond that of anywhere else found in the wastes. Within 50 years, House aimed to begin sending the citizens of New Vegas on expeditions into space. This would continue for another 50 years, gathering crucial spacefaring data, after which, House would begin sending out colony ships to search for and colonize new worlds, free from the wrath and folly of those left on Earth. And whilst yes, this might sound far-fetched, the technology to get to space is fairly easily accessible during the events of Fallout New Vegas, with the ghouls of the Bright Brotherhood successfully, or unsuccessfully depending on how ghoulophobic you are, managing to take to the stars in the rocket ships of the relatively battered Repcon test site. And seeing as this site is owned by Mr. House, it's not unreasonable to suggest he would have the knowledge and capabilities stored away somewhere on how to create newer and better rockets, ones that would be capable of interplanetary space travel within the next 100 years. And that's why I think House is the best choice to side with in Fallout New Vegas. I mean, yeah, he might rule over New Vegas as an autocrat, but he does seem to have humanity's, or at least those in New Vegas's best interest in mind. And he's even admitted himself he cares not for interfering in the private lives of his subjects. He only seeks to, through knowledge and power, further advance the human race and leave behind the age of ignorance and foolishness that led to the Great Atomic War in the first place. What do you think? Would House's plan have worked? Would you be happy living under his absolute rulership if it meant sacrificing a bit of your freedom for safety and the chance to explore the stars? Let me know down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more lore. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.